Happy Sunday, apprentices. So, first thing you got to do to start trading is you're going to have some capital, some risk capital. I know you've heard that term a lot on this show, and it truly needs to be risk capital. So, today we're going to talk about Matt and I's list on things you can do to grow that risk capital account outside of your everyday expenses. That's what's on today's show. Come on, Matt.
Welcome to Day Trading Plumber, episode 33. I'm Matt Simpson, and we're here for Clayton.
Yeah, so we're on the third episode doing Zoom, and, we're still getting used to being completely live, completely on video. But you know what? We're just talking to a bunch of friends, right? We're all friends here. So
You're not my friend.
You're not my friend, Matt? Well, that hurts my feelings, dude. So yeah, I mean, I get asked all the time for new traders. They've been demo trading for a while. They've been testing out, tasting new strategies, and they've gotten to the point where they really want to start a live account. And that's great. That's great. You don't want to be stuck in demo trading forever. And you definitely, to make money, you're going to have to put a little bit of risk capital at risk. But one of the things, there's a couple things I want to bring up tonight. One being, we all struggle to pigeon off some funds, especially for something as risky as trading. I'm pretty sure if you talk to your wives, their family members, they're probably telling you, no, you probably should buy a new lawnmower or something else that you need before you trade. But I'm going to be the first one to tell you, it wasn't easy for me in the beginning to shovel out some risk capital and put some money aside to start a small account so you could start growing it. But I definitely want to tell you guys, if all you have is $100 and you're in this constant search for a broker that's going to let you open a $100 account and give you this ridiculous, amount of leverage, just stay in demo trading. Don't do it. Yes, there's brokers letting you start with as low as $100, I've heard, and give you 1,000 to 1 leverage. It's just not a good idea. I mean, like I tell people that ask me, I want to start a $100 account. I found a broker who gives me high leverage. I'm like, dude, you might as well just call them or mail them the $100 because it's just not enough. And you guys have heard me on this show. Save up $1,000. So today's show, we're going to throw out some ideas that you may have already heard of. Maybe you need a good push from good old Matt and I on to get your butt out of the chair. With this coronavirus stuff going on, there's still opportunities to do a lot of these things to at least get $1,000. And, we're going to kind of go through that list. Maybe I've done a few of these things myself. But, we all have this same problem in the beginning. How do we get extra funds to push over to start that first trading account? And I believe it needs to be at least $1,000. Don't waste your time with $100 account. It's just stupid, in my opinion.
But first, we have to talk about how we got in trouble this week.
Oh, yeah. So we actually had a listener write in. Wow, Matt. He wrote in. He took the survey on our Telegram channel. Matt did a great job this week putting out a Survey Monkey survey. Was it both the Journeyman and the free channel?
Yep.
That the Survey Monkey went in? Or just the free?
It was
So
both.
Matt did a great job sending out a survey. It was in both.
Yes.
So in that survey, some real basic questions like what would you like to see? We had pretty good response, but it triggered one of our listeners to write in and go the extra mile. And he went the extra mile and had some valid points. But it started to cross into the lines of, why aren't you guys more professional? Why don't you guys wear nicer clothes? Why we need to be more prepared for the show. And drinking alcohol on the show might ruin your target audience, which should be higher class people that have money. Yada yada yada. There's your there's your Seinfeld reference. But I want to be the first one to tell you guys, look, I'm going to be as natural as I am or as I can to be. And what's really hard is put a microphone and now a video camera in front of yourself and try to just speak normal. It's tough enough. Trying to be someone you're not in front of the camera and in front of a microphone, you might as well call me Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise, and I should be making a lot more money doing movies, right, Matt? But
Vin Diesel.
my it was and I don't want to beat the guy up, and all of his comments were definitely in out of his heart, trying to do the right thing. But I promise you guys, I'm always going to be wholesome. I'm always going to be me. What's the saying? You could take you you could take the guy out of the trailer, but you can never take the trailer out of the guy. And I'm not really saying that. I grew up in a trailer. I mean, that's me. I grew up in a small farm town, northern Colorado, in a trailer house, no shit, with a wood burning stove for our heat. We raised our own chickens. We had pigs, and we had a little garden. And, I got one pair of shoes for pretty much my whole high school career. So you can't take that kind of grit or naturalness out of who I am, and nor would I ever want to. So, I'm really glad the guy reached out, and his comments were definitely weighted in. However, I'm not going to change who I am, even no matter how much money I have. Don't get me wrong. I'm not as crude or rude as I was back in the trailer days. But I'm still a plumber. I still carry a license. And I've spent most of my adult career working with the people in the plumbing field, mechanical, engineering. And, I honestly feel like just being natural, honest, Clayton is going to get the message through a lot better. And yes, I'm not the most intelligent guy in the world.
That's for damn sure.
And Matt likes to poke fun at that all the time. But at the end of the day, like I said, I don't care. I don't really care, right? What matters is, can I provide for my family? Can I provide for myself? Can I do the work that's needed to do to be successful in this life? And yes, I feel like I can. I've proven myself in a few different fields of career wise, and now I'm a full-time trader and trying to help other people and be as natural as I can through that process. And at the end of the day, if we didn't have any listeners, no one picked up the phone and no one wanted to hear my trading strategies or how I did it, then I'd shut up and go away. But what are we growing at? 1,000 new downloads a week. And, I think we're doing pretty good. I think I think we're reaching the right people. And, you know, if you're one of those people, send us some. Let us know you guys are there. We
I
love
love the
hearing from you
hate.
guys.
I
Good
love the
or
hate as much as I love the love.
well, I mean, what do they tell you? If people are criticizing you, you must be doing something different, and you
Must
must
be
be doing
striking a nerve.
something that will find a. And I'm drinking whiskey with ice. Sorry, guy. Oh, the other thing I wanted to make. Um, I hope we're not segregating women with this show. I mean, that was one of the strong points was, hey, I think there's a lot of women that trade, and with you cussing or drinking on the show, it may scare, women may just be turned off by it. Well, I hope not. And if you are a woman and you're listening to this, we'd love to hear from you. And if you're offended in any way by how Matt and I run the show, we'd love to hear from you guys, because we love the women. And yes, more and more women are getting into trading. More and more women work from home. More and more women are doing side hustles as their stay-at-home moms. And I think trading is a perfect way for them to spend a little bit of time each day and really learn a new craft, something they could do, very little overhead, and a lot of time investment in the beginning. But once you get confident, and once you get yourself in a place where you feel like you know what you're doing, it is a good way to make a decent income.
Where can
And
they go if they want to learn more?
well, obviously, Matt and I have been pretty busy, but I would love for anyone to go to the new allenfx.com. That's www.allenfx.com site. I'm going to be launching a bunch of new courses. There's going to be some discretionary. There's going to be some how to use an automated system, how I use my automated system. There's going to be a lot of good stuff. I'm getting more and more comfortable in front of the camera doing some of these trainings, and I'm hoping to have at least the first course or two ready in the first part of May. Matt has done a wonderful job making these Telegram channels robust, lots of training, lots of free stuff in there, a newsletter with lots of information. I'm going to be doing a 1-hour training each quarter for free. I'm also going to be doing a half-hour Ask Me Anything live event for the members in the Journeyman channel every week. So I love what we're doing. I love where it's going. As far as the copy trade, auto copy, that program is filled up, and I'm veering away from it just because it crosses a few boundaries that I no longer want to cross at the time. Maybe down the road, I will be introducing it after such potential clients go through these courses. Because one of the things I learned, Matt, the first 18 months of running it, I didn't do a good enough job teaching those clients what trading is about, how we're going to trade, what we're going to do when we get in trouble, how to understand the difference between margin or balance and equity. It's just really not responsible of me to take people on. There's the dogs. Take people on that really had no clue. Although that was most of my clientele, had never traded before, saw the successes that I was having, and was like, I want in no matter what. And then, as we truck along and we've had these few losing weeks, and they're impactful enough, it's just really hard to relive that loss 100 times as people finally open their app on their phone and realize 5 weeks later, hey, what happened? My balance is smaller. I'm like, man, you got to keep up. You got to watch. So yeah, I'm really excited about the pivot we're making, with Allen FX. And I don't want to make the whole show about it, but yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited to bring you on, Matt, to really help channel, make it less boring with just trade signals. I want to provide channels that really help train people or teach people how to trade as they're copying, which I don't know if anyone out there is doing that with these signal services, because essentially we're training our clients to not need us. And I hope through honesty, transparency, and camaraderie, we could create a nice community of people who are real people making real gains. Yes, it's real. And, we could all kind of band together and go through this process together. The same process I went through over the last decade.
To get started, it's free. It's easy. Just go to allenfx.com, put in your email, and you'll get on the list. You'll get the newsletter, and you'll get access to the Apprentice channel on Telegram.
Right.
And all of that's free. Clayton, what word is this?
Your internet's a little slow. A papania. A papahina.
Try again.
What word is it?
Try one more time.
Apo. I don't know, dude. Making me look stupid on my own podcast. It's not a good play, Matt.
I disagree. Apophenia.
Apophenia. I almost said that.
Yeah, but you didn't.
Apophenia. What is it?
It's this tendency for humans to make patterns mean things when they're not really patterns. It's just a random collection of events. For example, when you see a Jesus face in a potato chip, or when you see an alligator in the clouds, new traders especially, tend to do this. Did you know that?
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at a chart long enough, you're going to see what you want to see. Just this is the awareness we must all have as traders, especially as you start to learn price patterns. I mean, I can remember in my learning years, and I hate to say it that way because you're always learning, right? But when I was really going deep into price action patterns, reversal patterns, the doji, the morning star, right? All of these well-known patterns. And then when you catch it, right, it's just like, have you ever learned a new word and then you hear that word all the time after you learned it?
Yeah, it's like when you buy
a car. Same thing in trading.
It's like when you buy a car, suddenly you see your model all over the road.
Exactly. Or you're looking at buying a new car and you're really looking at the Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo with the black wheels.
Please don't talk about Laredo.
And then all of a sudden it's, dude, just let it go. Then all of a sudden you see them everywhere. Well, the same thing, when you're in this path of learning trading and you start to learn price patterns, start to learn Fibonacci retracement, start to learn all these basic tools that you see everywhere, you're going to start seeing them on charts all the time, which is good because you're training your eyes. But that's not the time to be betting big, putting big positions on it. Because just because the excuse me, Just because the Bible of price action told me the bearish morning star with an engulfing confirmation candle, it's a, it's a home run sell. That's what a lot of traders in the beginning get stuck doing. They see it, they recognize it, and usually they are right in recognizing it, right? Because the brain analyzed it, and they've been studying long enough, and they're like, oh, look, there's that word that apopophilia. Now I'm going to hear that word all the time, or not, because you seem to find words no one knows. But yeah, you see that pattern, and then you're like, oh, there it is. And then you put a big position on, and it's one of the times it doesn't work. But yes, seeing patterns in the charts, seeing things you want to see, is definitely in those phases as you're learning. And even today, after staring at 10,000 hours of charts, putting trades on, learning what kind of trader I am, looking for the certain patterns and things that I look for, I still fight that today, seeing things that aren't really there, right? It's right back to that episode of analysis paralysis. So for a perfect example would be, you're looking at Euro US dollar, and it took a big giant drop on a daily. It's been in a downward trend for a long time. You throw your Fibonacci retracement tool on it, because price is coming up. So you're looking at a level where you think it's going to continue that downward trend. Well, if you put your Fibonacci retracement tool on that downward swing high to swing low, to use proper terms, and price is nearing the halfway point, 0.5, or possibly even the 0.618, and you're like, man, this is a sure short. Well, if you put the same Fibonacci tool on the swing low to the swing high of that up on a smaller time frame, it might be right at a pullback. You might be right at the level where you think it's going to pull back, go even further down to the 618 or the 0.5 on the upward trend on a smaller time frame. So, this is where having that experience, being in that situation hundreds of times, and really it comes down to your gut at that moment, right? If you're a Fibonacci retracement trader, now you have two conflicting, a smaller time frame conflicting with a higher time frame, and now you're going to just have to make a choice. Which way do I go? And that's where having a solid trading system and plan in place is really going to help you through those scenarios.
Analysis paralysis was episode 23.
23. That was exactly 10 episodes, 10 weeks ago. Could have changed our whole DNA structure in 10 weeks.
Hey, everyone, the trader can do arithmetic. With all of the companies reacting to what's going on with the economy, with martial law.
Martial law? Are we there yet?
What's that?
We're not in martial law yet.
It's a plague. It's martial law.
Words.
All right.
We're martial law phase 1, I guess.
Yeah, people are being asked to turn in other people for not wearing their masks. Anyway, this isn't that show. So companies are, freaking out, and they're letting a whole bunch of people go. We know that the restaurant business has lost 3 million jobs already, which is incredible, which really sucks. But it's happening all over the place. People are being asked to take pay cuts. It sucks. But the flip side of that, if you can be patient in your head, you can't always be patient with your mortgage. is smart employers are really going to figure out, and I hope they figure it out quickly, that now there is this influx in skilled or really good labor that will be skilled, right? You can't teach people to give a damn. But all of a sudden, these companies who are complaining about, oh, you can't find any workers, you can't find any labor. Well, guess what? Now it's ripe for the picking. And I really think that smart owners and smart managers are going to see this and actually look to upgrade their staffs. And if they don't, they're not really managers, are they? They're just so big.
Well, it should definitely be part of their play, but one of the things, are you there?
Yep, go ahead.
One of the things that you said that really I want to touch a point on is, you can't replace. It costs companies lots of money to train individuals. So, although I think your point is, if you have bad apples on your team that you've already identified, that you've been holding on to just because the workplace was really hard, not necessarily because there's an influx of superstars out there. Most people don't know who those superstars are yet. And how usually that transaction works is, for instance, go back to my plumbing days. I used to do very well with individuals that were kind of labeled in the company as not being good producers, only in the sense that as a good leader or a good foreman or superintendent or just manager, I was able to kind of place those guys in a scenario. And I was very upfront with them. I'd say, look, you don't have a good name. You coming out to my project. Here's what I expect from you. Here's what you can expect from me. Where would you like to work? And I would give them a good, at least a shot at telling me, well, I'd really like to be on the water pipe crew. And a lot of times it was always the same place I needed to put them. So I'd be like, okay, I'm going to put you on the water pipe crew. But here's what I need from you. I need you to kick ass. But to your point, Matt, yes, supply and demand is going to take precedence. It always does. It's one of the laws. It's just like gravity, right? Supply and demand is like gravity inside economic law. And economic law, I was saying this a couple times to some friends today, you can stand in front of it and you can deter the outcomes momentarily. But at the end of the day, economic law always wins. And what I mean when I say that is OPEC can manipulate oil prices, right? By simply stopping production of oil. So they're getting in the way of supply. We're manipulating supply. And you can do that because, man has to get oil on the ground. But what I always find interesting with oil is if we have years and years and years of oil stockpiled in reserves, right? Now we're truly manipulating supply because now we have it in reserve, but we say it's off the market or out of the market. But at the end of the day, economic law is going to come into effect, and this massive amount of supply will correct in the marketplace. Just like labor right now. A year ago, every company's biggest problem was they couldn't find qualified help. Today, they're letting everyone they had go or hoping they don't have to let them go. And yes, the next phase of this will be, hey, we have abundant supply. So, my advice would be to anyone, and who you are. I don't want to sound like uh, anyone's going to get caught off guard. But if you've been a pain in the ass at the workplace and you've been demanding and you've turned your boss into HR because he cussed in a meeting, you're probably going to get let go. And I'm sorry. Or if you've gone around the last year and a half leveraging the fact that there's no one in the workforce and you're demanding raises and you hate your job and you tell everyone at the water cooler, I fucking hate my job. Oh shit, I cussed. But it's coming. I mean, all right, I don't want to say that. I'm not going to say I love what's going on, because I don't. A lot of people are losing their jobs. But it takes issues like this. It takes monumental changes to cause massive efficiency gains. And what I mean by that is companies are going to pivot. People will pivot. You may lose your job during this, and you may be forced to start an online company you've been thinking about. You may be forced to start that trading. I got a guy who listens to this show, avid listener, just moved here from Austin, and he moved in my neighborhood before he knew where I lived. He reached out to me and said, "Hey man, I'm moving to Colorado, moving to a city called Castle Rock." And I'm like, "Hey dude, I live in Castle Rock." "Yeah, I'm going to live on this such and such street." And I'm like, "Dude, that's the connecting street to my cul-de-sac, right? And when I walk my dog, I see him now." But he moved here, spent his last dime, closed on the house. They moved. His wife lost her job that she had set up here. He's a loan officer in real estate. And just recently, governor of Colorado shut down real estate. No more showings, no more inspections, no more appraisals. So as a loan officer, it's not like he said you can't give loans, but the people that the predecessor to that loan is a real estate agent can sell a house and one can buy a house. Well, that's paralyzed. So he's like, "Dude, I don't know what to do. I'm going to take this stimulus check and I'm going to, do my best to flip it." So he's going to get in the channel, the Telegram channel. I think it was last show where I was like, let's just do $1,000 in the $1,000 challenge. Well, that's a little small. We're going to go with 4 or 5 grand. I'm going to set up that account this weekend and hook it up to my FX books. But that's the challenge, man. We're going to take a small account and we're going to trade it as if it's our last $4,000. And we are going to do our best to try to grow that. And that's what we're going to do in that Telegram channel, the Journeyman channel, is we're going to put smart place trades and we're going to position them size wise to grow a small account modestly and respectfully, and at the end of the day, responsibly. But this is where Americans are right now. And if you lost your job, I feel horrible. And it's why I'm pivoting my business. I think doing some training classes, teaching people how to trade who were chefs 6 months ago at a hotel, and they can't do it no more. There's no hotel to go to. So this next time, have a skill, have a trade, have something to fall on. And just like I taught plumbing all those years, I'm going to attempt to rally the troops and teach some apprentices. And it's going to, it's not going to be easy, and we're going to get people there. But I just feel for these people who are grasping at straws. And man, we're only into the first month of this, and this thing could go for a while. And I really don't want to be negative, and I want to turn all this into a positive and find as many people as I can out there who are sitting there wondering what they're going to do. And, you know, if they go drive Uber's hiring right now. Maybe not. I don't know.
We're going to
Maybe
get to that in
Uber's
just a minute. But first we need
All right.
to talk about startup capital. Okay? Because you need startup capital
Starting
to invest in yourself. You need startup capital to do anything, really.
right.
So
I love how you called it startup capital.
not risk capital, right?
Well, it has to be risk capital, but startup capital, because this is a business. Trading is a business. And you need to look at starting your trading career as a startup, right? There's going to be bad days. You're going to put money in the wrong idea. Now, if you're smart about it, it doesn't tank your whole company. You know, each trade is a new venture, and some are going to win, some aren't. And you got to come up. You're the CEO of that portfolio. And I love how you said startup capital, because you're really starting a business.
I really want people to think about how they see cash differently. And this is a theme that we've been going on, 33 episodes now, is understanding how money works and understanding how money can work for you. And one of the ways to do that is to think of startup capital as part of a business that you're already running. And what this means is that you're going to take the savings off the top of your regular paycheck before you do anything else. And you're going to put that money into a savings account. You're going to put it into your startup capital safe or in your sock drawer. I don't care. But I want you to take that off the top of the check. And then you're going to pay your other bills. What this forces you to do is to decrease your operating expenses. You can't do much about your fixed costs, right? Like your mortgage. Right. You can't do things with other fixed costs like your insurance and all that. What you can do, however, is change your variable costs, the way that you consume food, the way that you consume entertainment. Those are all things that you can do a lot with, all expenses that you can do a lot with to change your habits to make them less expensive, because now you'll have a purpose for any income that you're getting. So pay yourself first and then pay your bills. And I know that it's kind of backwards. I get it. But what it does is, again, it forces you to reevaluate what you're spending your money on. And suddenly you're going to see a whole bunch of waste. If you don't do that and you don't pay yourself first, you're not going to pay yourself, which means that you're not going to get your startup capital, and you're going to keep living your lifestyle, quite frankly, in a way that you can't afford without, you can't afford to do it and still move forward and still gain your net worth.
Right. You can't do it as you're trying to shovel out some funds for startup capital.
And having that real goal, for your startup capital is a mindset. It's something that I do that, okay, well, I'm going to save off every check. I'm taking $200 regardless. And I'm just going to figure out how to pay the rest of everything. And suddenly I don't need that Netflix account. Suddenly I don't need that membership. Suddenly I don't need Xbox.
Starbucks every day.
Right. Frankly, I don't mind.
One thing I want to definitely.
Go ahead.
I definitely want to speak to the discipline, right? Because like basically what you're talking about is you need to be disciplined in your personal life, your personal finances, to pull this goal off. Well, guess what? In your trading career, your trading business, you got to be disciplined. Discipline is going to be one of the very key factors. So look at it this way. I've done the math. I've gone through my variable expenses. I've identified where I could cut, and like you said, Matt, take that money out first. So if you're disciplined at doing that, then you're disciplined at making the rest work. Because don't get me wrong, we all want to indulge and spend and get that new pair of jeans and go to that concert that we probably shouldn't have gone to. Although, I would think now and the condition most of us are in, locked in our houses, not driving, you should have a lot of extra money. Gas, no going to concerts.
If you're still working.
You're not going to the gym. I mean, I wonder what's going to happen to gyms, because everyone is figuring out, if this goes long enough, they're going to figure out, why am I paying that $150 a month to CrossFit gym when they were just sending me a WOD online and I was doing it in my basement? Right? I mean, $150 a month, that's a lot of money. And, don't get me wrong. I loved going to CrossFit when I did. I loved the team atmosphere. But even when I was making great money, that's a lot of money. And putting that in a trading account each month and just working out in your basement, bam, you're there. And even if you're successful at trading, adding that much into your trading account as you're making 1 or 2% a week, you're gonna get to like serious money pretty fast. And that's what we're talking about today. I mean, Postmates, is it Postmates? DoorDash. These places are so freaking busy right now. And I'm going to tell you from experience, my wife started driving DoorDash. I don't know why, because she's a nurse and she's working, but she just thought, I want to try this thing out. And she turned the app on 2 nights. I think she's done maybe a total of 7 deliveries in 2 nights, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours each night, over $100. Right? So, even if you have a full-time job, come home, eat dinner, get your wife to understand what your goal is and what you're being disciplined. Go drive DoorDash at the peak hours, right? Eat a little earlier, go out in peak hours and deliver food. I mean, right now that opportunity is huge because everyone's locked in their house and they don't want to go out either because they're scared or lazy, and go get Taco Bell for them. And man, you could make $100 in 2 nights. And I'll tell you, you could trade from your car too, because I've done it. I've had my tablet or my phone in my car, executing trades right there in a traffic jam. I don't recommend it to be the only way how to trade, but it is possible. And if you're trading from a robot, even better. Just watch it. You can watch it from your phone.
One trap that people fall into when they're trying to raise startup capital is taking money from others. And they see these shows, our favorite Shark Tank, and they see these other shows. The Profit is another one of them, which we love. Love you, Marcus. You're fantastic. Marcus Lemonis. Lemonis. Anyway, the problem when you take money from others is you're giving up something, whether it's equity, whether it's payment plans, or future royalties. We know that Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank loves his royalties. Those royalties don't ever go away. The way that he does business, those royalties are for life. So it can become a problem and a burden. However, people do it because they leverage it so that they can build it faster. If I had my way, I would never take a dime from anybody, and I would. But at some point, you have this. You can do only so much volume.
And I'm the same way, Matt. I mean, obviously, because uh, I've stumbled through building websites. I've stumbled through copy writing, and I'm not going to say I'm the greatest, but it's taken a while to just accept. And I have the money, and I could have taken out money out of my trading accounts or my investment accounts and sacrificed and said, wow, I could pay someone 30 grand to just do it all, run it all, or bring on a partner and give them equity. When I watch Shark Tank, what's really good about Shark Tank is, and I guess what's more valuable than just going to any other VC or venture capital firm is, and the sharks are starting to play off of it. It's they know their star status value, right? So Mr. Wonderful gets involved. He's gonna you're already on the show, so you're already going to get a sell spike, right? You're on a show. You're legitimized. Is that the right way? You're made legitimate by being on the show, and now you've taken on a partner who has some pull and weight and smarts about him. So I'm right there with you, Matt. Asking someone for money, right, to start up your business, you are giving up something, even if that person's not asking for something. Let's say you borrow it from your mom. You're giving up a little bit of pride, a little bit of that. Did you do this on your own? And I'm going to tell you guys right here and now, borrowing money from someone to trade is like the ultimate sin. You're like almost tainting that money. You're like almost basically you're going to lose the money is what I'm saying, because you didn't do the hard work it took to get there. You're not gonna value it like you would if you drove Postmates every night for a year to save it. And it's just, and then you have that enabling mom or dad who's like, sure, son, show me some of your demo results. Yeah, I love it. Yes, here's 10 grand. And then you're gonna blow through it, and it's not gonna give you that same feeling. I'm telling you, trading is a feeling, and you need to protect that capital like it's your little babies. And the only way you get there is if you shovel ditches. You sacrificed for that 10 grand. You saved up for years. You had kids. You had all of the things everyone else had, but you're the one that didn't make the excuse. You're the one that drove limos to proms. You're the one that did all of these sacrifices and finally got that account there. That then and only then you're going to be able to trade with that same intensity to protect that capital. I mean, as I've gotten very successful and have grown my accounts over the years, I've had to hold on to that feeling you have when you live in a trailer house and it's Easter and you don't get a ham because you couldn't afford it. And you see your mom struggling, telling you a lie. There was no hams at the store, so we're going to have, whatever. And when you're a kid, but you go along with it. I mean, you can't ingrain that in someone, especially if they just are given the money. And I'm telling you, to be a good trader, you had to sacrifice for that capital. Otherwise, you're not gonna wait for the perfect setup. You're not gonna wait for the perfect take profit. And I'm not telling there is no perfect in trading, but you're just not going to protect that capital. And I would just tell you guys, I don't even know. I hope not. opening a broker account on a credit card, probably the stupidest move you could do.
That had never occurred to me to do that.
I've heard stories of people doing it. I've heard stories of people taking a second mortgage out on their house, cashing in their equity in their house. Just don't do it, guys. Because I'm telling you, you could be that 1% of the 1% who does it and goes for a couple home run trades and then, yeah, I'm back in the game. But, and then they can make a movie about you. But it's just not going to happen that way.
We came up with several ways to suffer and to earn that money and to love that money and to love that feeling, to love that process. Have you heard of TaskRabbit?
TaskRabbit. I saw your notes. I have not heard of TaskRabbit. Is it a Reddit thing?
No, it's an app. It's a community of odd jobs, handyman work like mounting a TV, furniture assembly, furniture lifting and moving, running errands, spring cleaning, yard work, hell, even moving. I saw one category you can even get paid to wait in line. Now, we all know
it's pretty sad.
We know that Aaron Rodgers is a huge iPhone guy, and he actually paid people to wait in line for him. And look, I get it, but dude, you can't wait. We can't wait a couple days and just go to the store. Waiting in line is paying people to wait in line is the most absurd thing. Is the most elitist garbage I've ever heard of. But there's also snow removal. You can even help people with gift wrapping. And
wait a minute. I want to say something here before I forget it, because I tend to do that. I'm going to go on a limb here. If you wait in line, if you're one of those people that wait in line the day before a concert or the iPhone coming out, maybe not the guy who pays for someone to wait in line, but maybe. I'm going to guess you will never, 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 never be a successful trader. And here's why. You have this urge where you have to be right. You have to be first. You have to be the one that found the 3 doors down when they were nobodies, and you had to buy the T-shirt.
You might as well just say, look, I discovered Nickelback, if you're going to go that way.
No, I was going to say Creed. But yes. So delayed gratification is one of the best traits in trading because you have to wait. You have to be patient. And then that person that wants to wait in line, who has to be the first one with the iPhone, they're always going to want to be right. And don't get me wrong, trading, you want to be right, but you have to be able to accept that you're not in a quick fashion. And I don't know. I'm just guessing that type of person that goes, you know what? I'm going out right after I eat turkey for these awesome deals. And I'm going to sit in line at Walmart, even though I'm going to end up on Channel 9 News getting trampled by all the other idiots that need to get in the store first on Black Friday.
Trampled?
Trampled. It's a word. Google it.
Do you mean trampled?
Trampled? Trampled. Yes. Same exact word. All right, go.
Another cash influx is the relief check. Remember, it's not a stimulus. The government doesn't make anything. They don't produce anything. They can't stimulate anything. All they can do is let us use our own money. It's a relief check. Tax returns. Even your old 401k. That's one of your favorites.
Well, this one's big right now. Let's say you get laid off. Let's say you lose your job. Like millions, 6 million people last week? Well, if you had a 401k at your former employer, and guys, I want to sprinkle this on here. It's possible to trade that. There is some hoops you got to go through. But if this is your only savings, if this is your only retirement, it probably not the best idea. And all of you fiduciaries out there or financial advisors listening to this show, don't write in and say how irresponsible you are to recommend people take their retirement or their pensions, as someone overseas said, and tell them to trade Forex with it. Well, I'm not advising you to do anything. I'm simply telling you that option is there. And if you're 50 years old and you have a $10,000 401k, it's not going to be that much anyways. And you need an aggressive plan. So use your wits about you. You can put it in a self-directed IRA, buy real estate with it. You can do a lot of things. Whatever, I mean, if I was going to tell you guys anything, whatever, ever you do, don't just leave it at your former employer. Take the time, roll it over, put it into your new employer's plan once you get a job. Decide to take, well, when I get a new job, that'll be my retirement. And I'm going to take the $8,000 or $20,000 I have at Rodizio's grill that I worked at for the last 5 years. And I'm going to try to do something tremendous with it. I'm going to start trading with it. I'm going to buy a rental property with it. That's the only point I wanted to make. And guys, don't trade any capital. It's not risk capital for the millionth time. Uber, Lyft, they may be busy right now. They may not. I'd love to see the numbers, but Instacart is popping. People don't want to go to stores. I love this one too, Matt. The people that use Instacart that complain right now to the shopper that shows up without the Eggland's best eggs, but they were able to at least find eggs, those people won't be good traders either, because they're assholes. And you're just using Instacart, so you're not the one that has to be disappointed. And so when that shopper shows up at your door with the wrong cheese, because it was the only cheese, and you're like, I asked for the Tillman's cheddar cheese, and you brought me the Kraft. Yeah, those people, I don't like those people because, Instacart's a great way for you to go make some extra money, help some people out. Maybe they're elderly, maybe, but it's just sad because I live in a neighborhood where I went for a 2-mile run today. Look like Grimace running through the neighborhood.
Did you run without stopping?
I stopped once. I ran 2 miles, maybe a little under, at a 10-minute mile pace, which is pretty pathetic, I know. But chatting it up with my neighbors, it's like, can you believe Instacart didn't bring the right eggs? I just can't believe it. And I just want to tell these people, I'm like, you're only using Instacart so you can pass blame onto someone else. That's another thing horrible traders like to do. They like to watch your YouTube video on a strategy, and then when it doesn't work for them, they go on there and like, your strategy sucks, dude. I didn't make any money. Well, I think you're trying to pass blame on to someone else for your own mistakes. One of the best things you can learn right out of the gate, being a trader, and I know I got off topic here from how to make money, is learn how to take it on the chin and accept your failures and own it. You're the boss. It's just like, I think I've said this before. That's why I loved wrestling so much. There is no quarterback that fumbled it at the 30 seconds left, or the receiver that dropped the ball, or the lineman that let the guy get through to sack the quarterback. No, it's you and your tight little skibbies and your headgear and your opponent and a bunch of people in the bleachers and a team. And yes, they keep team points, but no one gives a shit about team. It's you and that opponent. Who is going to win? Trading is the same way. And if you look at it any other way, you're wrong. If you're ordering Instacart because you know you can't find the Tillman cheese and you want to blame someone else when they come to your door and complain, it's just stay out of trading. It's not going to work. DoorDash, we talked about it. Could make $100 2 nights. I don't know if it's the same everywhere. Do they even have DoorDash like in Europe? I'm guessing not in Russia. If you guys are in Russia and you're listening to this, that'd be cool. Maybe it's that really cool Russian guy that blows stuff up online with his guns. You seen that guy?
Yep.
Limo driving. Okay, I put this one in there because, believe it or not, I drove limos right out of high school. I was a full-time plumber. A buddy of mine bought a couple limos for a good deal at an auction. He's like, let's start a limo company. So I went and had to buy some nice clothes, and we started driving limos. And let me tell you guys, he would rent me the limo for like $400 for the night, especially if I sold the job. So, well, some people you can sell a limo for 150, 200 an hour. So I would get the car for $400. Someone would go to prom. They have the car for 5 hours, and the trips I really loved, this was the hustle in me. So I would take people to a concert at the Pepsi Center, downtown Denver. And I would know the concert, they're going to be in a concert the whole time. So do I just sit in the parking lot? No. I used to always get a couple bottles of alcohol, put them in the trunk. And when they were in the concert, I'd move all their personal belongings to the trunk. And then I would drive around Denver for groups of people looks like they parked and they want to go to the bar. And I'd just pull up and I'd be like, hey, for $20, I'll give you a shot and drop you off at the bar you're going to. And they'd be like, fuck yeah, dude. I'd make $400-500 cash just driving around Denver those 3 or 4 hours of that concert, doing the same thing, picking a group of 5 people up and saying, hey, dude, you guys got $50? I'll take you to the bar a couple blocks up the road. You get to get out of a limo like you're cool shit, and I'll give you a shot of Jack Daniels out of the bottle. All right, done. So think of something like that. I mean, that was huge for me. Babysitting. All right, everyone's stuck in their house. Everyone's sick of their kids. Yes, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, right? I know I'm a bad dad. But when you have 2 5-year-old twins, that was a double plural, Matt. 2 5-year-old twins. Damn it. When you have 2 kids at home and you've been stuck in the house for 3 weeks, this is time to shine. Reach out to your neighbors. Say, hey, I'll watch your kids for a couple hours while you guys go do whatever. I mean, you can make some serious cash. The older kids, high school kids, you're not going to school. How many people in your neighborhood have young kids that they're sick of that you could watch for 5 hours? Not that high schoolers can trade, but maybe start an Amazon store.
The problem with the Amazon store right now is that they are.
Oh yeah, they're only selling toiletries.
Well, they're right, but they're also not really interested in processing items that they don't carry. So they're
okay. So let's just scratch that one. Let's put in
your own store.
Go to ClickFunnels. No, I'm not getting paid yet. Go to ClickFunnels and, dude, build a funnel. You got a good idea? I mean, listen to Russell Bronson's story. The guy figured out he bought a potato gun and said, well, shit, I could build a better one. And then filmed himself building it and then made a DVD and sold those. That's how he got started. Now you can go to ClickFunnels, and a stupid idiot like me could put together a pretty decent website. Go to allenfx.com and let me know what you think. And dude, if you got something to sell, sell it. You know, maybe it's a $5 your grandma's recipe book. You know, call your grandma, get her permission, put together a stupid recipe book. You know, maybe you're Italian and your family's really good at Italian food. Put together, put some good wordsmithing to it or copy. Maybe you could sell it for $5 a piece online to people who's searching for Italian recipes.
And if you're going to do that, reach out to me. I'd love to be a part of that conversation. All right.
Why you like Italian food or what?
I like helping people with their copy and their
oh yeah. Okay. But yeah, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but side hustle's where it's at. I know it's a popular word these days, but come on, guys, let's make a negative into a positive. And if you're looking, you know, if you're that person out there that says, I love to trade, dude, but I just don't have any money, you're making excuses. And you can get started right now, locked in your basement with nothing to do. You could be hustling right now to get something done.
Thank you very much for listening. Please join us next week.
Over now.